Hey friends, it's Deanna here, and today we're making the Everywhere women's dress, and I'm excited because it's really cute and I love it. So I figured we're gonna go ahead and do it together. It's pretty easy, but it's got a different kind of neckline. It's kind of like a boat neckline, which is really cool, and it's got inset sleeves, and there's like a color blocking and everything, so it's awesome. Now let me tell you this, it is color blocked. The top and there's like a color blocking on the top and the sleeves, so you have so many options because you could do different color top sleeves, different color sleeves. You can keep it all the same color. If you do keep it all the same color, remember that there is a seam allowance, so you gotta account for the seam allowance and shorten that if you're gonna keep it all together. But other than that, it's so neat because you can change all the different ways you can style it, and I love it, so I'm excited. So we're gonna get started, and I already cut out all my fabric. As you can tell, I have my front. No, that's my back. I have my front. I have my tops. Here's one, and here's the other. And I've got my sleeves and my color pieces right here, and my interfacing. Now, I am not doing pockets, but I will show you how to do those if you are doing pockets. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna put the bodices together, and this is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna put it straight out, right sides up, and then I'm gonna grab my bodice top and I put it right side on top, so it's right sides together, like so. And I'm going to go ahead and pin those raw edges together, and I'm going to sew them together. Okay, so I'm gonna pin right there and I'm gonna sew. And it's gonna be the same thing for this other one. This is the back. So we're gonna go ahead and, I'm just gonna go ahead and put it on there already because that's just what I like to do. Sometimes I just like to go ahead and get it done and over with. That way it will be all ready. All right, so let's go ahead and pin it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and serge it together at the raw edge. Right sides together, raw edge, serge it together. I don't know if you guys can tell, I'm so excited. I painted my room and it looks nice and clean. We got new floor in here, so it's really nice, but I'm still finishing some last end of the deal things, and I gotta get some other things. You know how that is when you're working on a project. It takes way longer than you thought it was gonna take, but that's okay. Alright, so I'm finished sewing this, and now my two bodices are together. The one thing is, I did not want carpet in my room anymore because I do not like to sew on carpet with my my pins going everywhere and everything. And so it is hardwood floor right now, but I need to get like a small rug that I can put like underneath my chair, because right now, like, I literally fly off every once in a while. So it's like, when I'm trying to do something, I'm like flying off. I'm like, what did I do? Well, my pin is stuck there, so that's why it looks weird. All right, so I'm gonna steam this and be done. Okay, you know what I didn't do? I don't know if I'm gonna regret it later, but I didn't take into consideration the stripes, and they're a little bit off, but they're such small stripes, I don't think you can really tell. I don't know. I can't tell when I look at it from far away, so I think you'll be fine. I'm gonna look crooked. Anyway, now that my bodices are put together, I'm going to go ahead and sew up the sleeves, the shoulders, so I'm going to match those two shoulders together, right sides together at the top. And pin and pin. I know, sometimes I don't pay very much attention to those little details like that, and then later I'm upset because I'm like, why did I do that? But, all right, here we go. Sorry, my foot went out of whack. Here we go. All right, there's one. And here's the other. And then we're gonna go ahead and put our sleeves together. Hold on. All right. So my shoulders are put together. And, oops. Sorry, not our sleeves. We're gonna go ahead and work on our color now. So we'll do our color next, and then we will move on to the next step. But look at that. So cute. That's gonna be so cute. I'm so excited. Okay, color. Here it is. So first thing we're gonna do obviously is attach the interfacing, and you're gonna do it however your manufacturer's interfacing thing tells you to do it. Mine is just, I'm just steaming it on. And let me see, let me make sure I put this on right. And there's this one. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and steam it on. And then after I do, we're gonna sew them together. So how's your day been? Mine's been good. Except for like in our neighborhood, there has been for the last couple of weeks, this dog that's been, he's been around everywhere, but nobody knows where he came from. Nobody knows whose he is. And it's been kind of chilly. So the whole neighborhood's been trying to catch this poor dog, like to feed him and give him some food and try to figure out who he belongs to. But we haven't because he keeps running away. He's so scared. But the animal rescue is gonna come and try to catch him so they can give him a home or try to find his owners, because he's really cute. He's really, really sweet, but he just keeps running away like when you get close enough. So yesterday I walked out of my house to take my son to school, and he was standing like right across the street from us, and he's just looking at us like, hi, you know. And I'm like, I tried to talk to him and he just ran off. So I was like, oh no. But people have been feeding him, so he's eating. He's just, maybe he just likes to be outside. I don't know. Anyway, okay, so I put the interfacing on, and now I am serging those edges together to make that color all the way around like a regular color. And there's one side. You know what's really funny too? Okay, I know some of you probably live in like more of a country area, so this won't be really funny, but it is kind of funny to me. When I drive on my way to work, to take my son to school, actually not when I drive to take him, when I come back, there is a chicken on the side of the road, like almost every day, in the same spot. A chicken, just a random chicken. And I try to tell my son and my husband, and they just think I'm crazy. They think I'm making it up, but I'm not making it up, I promise. There is a chicken on the side of the road eating. Like, it's a big road too. It's not like a huge road, but it's not like a tiny road. And I'm like, where did they even come from? It's in the same spot every time. Like, is it like a house-trained chicken that just comes out every once in a while? I don't know. But anyway, okay, so here's my neck. You guys don't care about all that stuff, do you? Get to sewing. I'm getting there. Okay, so here's the neck, and I'm gonna go ahead and match it up, right sides together. I'm putting it right on top of my dress, right sides together. I'm matching those seams with the seams, so shoulder seams right here. And then another shoulder seam right here, because we got two shoulders. So I'm pinning this neck all the way around. I guess I should pin it this way, since I'm going to be sewing it on to the dress. And I'm going all the way around, pinning those raw edges. And you shouldn't have to stretch, you shouldn't have to do anything to match it up. It should just match nice and evenly. to the bodice. So now I'm going to go ahead and sew around it on the inside, on the top of the neck. I'm going to do it with my sewing machine. And I'm going to be sewing all the way around. Making sure that I'm not catching any of the, anything other than just the neckline. Some of these pins out of the way. Tell me, how do you do it? Do you sew with the pins on there and you just go like over them, or do you remove them as you go? I think for me it just depends on what the pin looks like. I guess you're supposed to be really careful because if your needle catches on the pin, that could probably potentially fly into your eye and hurt you, so you are not supposed to do that. But like I said, sometimes I do, and it's kind of bad. What do? Do you just take the pins off, or do you remove them as you go, or do you keep going? Let me know in the comments. I want to know. Okay, so now I've got my color sewed on. So to remove some of the bulk, I'm going to go around with my scissors and snip, snap little like clippings. Now remember, if you're doing that, and then some of you have the scissors that do it themselves, you know, like the little, I don't remember what they're called. If you know what they're called, let me know. Anyway, and so they do that for you, so you don't have to do it, but I like to do it, go all the way around to loosen some of the bulk of the color. Now, if you're doing that, make sure that you don't go all the way down to where you made your, when you sewed your color together, because if you do, then you'll come apart. But if you do accidentally, then just go ahead and sew it back all over and you'll be fine. But try to stay kind of away from it. So I'm gonna go ahead and go around and do that to my whole neck area, and then we'll come back and keep going. So let me go ahead and continue to do this. All right, so now I trimmed all around, and remember I told you not to cut the thread. What did I do? I cut the thread. I did. So then I went back and ran right over it, back and forth, so it wouldn't come undone. So yes, if you can do it, I have done it. Okay, so now we're gonna tuck in that color. So I'm just tucking it in, turning it right side, inside, right side out, whatever, however you say it. It's just getting tucked in. So I'm gonna go ahead and steam that down. Now, if you want, and this step right here, you can top stitch along the edge stitch right there. That way it keeps the color down from coming up or anything like that if you want to. I have, in some of them I have done it because I've made this one a couple times. And I'm gonna try to see what it does if I don't do it, because sometimes I like the look of top stitching and sometimes I just like the look of just not top stitched, because it's, I don't know, it's kind of like, to me it looks a little bit more feminine. So it's up to you if you want to go ahead and top stitch it. Here's my neck. My iron had turned off, so I turned it back on, so now it's just getting hot. Because once it's hot enough, it'll steam it down. Okay, so there it is. Neck is done. So if you want to go back and top stitch right there so it doesn't lift up or whatever, but I haven't had any issues with it. So there it is, neck is done. Next step is we're gonna go ahead and, we can go ahead and sew the sides together, and then we gotta put the sleeves together. So let me go ahead, and what we're gonna do with the sides is we're going to go ahead and put it right sides up. And I'm going to put the other side on top of it, and I'm going to pin that side together, And then after I pin that side together, I'm just gonna sew it all down that edge. I'm gonna go ahead and put them together, pin the raw edge, and sew all the way down. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that on both sides, and then we're gonna work on the sleeves. All right, so there's my sides sewn together, see? And I did both my sides. So now I'm gonna go ahead and I'll turn it right side up and put it to the side. Like right now it's a sleeveless dress. Oh, so cute. I love it. It's gonna be so cute. Okay, I'm gonna put it to the side and I'm gonna work on my sleeves. So I've got my sleeve bottom. And obviously the wider side is the top. So we're gonna put it face up. And then I've got my sleeve top right here. And I'm gonna put it face down right on it. And you can see where it's supposed to match up right there. There's like the two edges, the two corners, and that's where it's going to be. So we're matching it up at the raw edge and we are, there we go. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and sew that together. About the sewing machine, what you do you remove your pins or not? But I didn't ask you about the serger. Tell me what you do with your serger. I like to put my pins farther into my seam so that way I can still serge and not have to remove my pins. But some fabrics you cannot do that with because you know they're kind of temperamental, but I do with double brush poly. Okay, so now I know I cut this wrong because it's got a little lip. I'm going to put my sleeve together, so I'm going to sew the sides of it together. So I'm going to match up those raw edges on the side, like so. And I'm going to sew. So see, like I put it away like an inch away from the edge. And like I said, with double brush poly, it kind of stays together, so it's not that bad. So I can get away with doing that. So I'm gonna sew that edge. But some fabrics I can't. But anyway, what do you do? Let me know what you do. That's like such an annoying part of sewing. Removing the pins. To me, you know, I don't know to everybody, but to me, it's like an annoying part of sewing. I hate removing the pins as I'm sewing. Like I just wanna go. And that is how I drive. No, I'm careful most of the time. I do like to speed a little bit, so I try not to. My son is really into numbers, and so for a while there was a stage where he was like, "Mom, what's the speed limit?" Where he would say, "What's the speed limit, Mommy? What's the speed limit?" So I'd tell him 45, and he's like, "How fast are you going? How fast are you going?" And so now that he is big enough, he can look over and see how fast I'm going. You know, like, "Mom, how fast are you going? Are you going the speed limit?" "Yes, child, I am." All right, so now I'm gonna find the top of the sleeve, and how I do that is now that it's folded, obviously this is the armpit area and the top will be right here. And how I mark that usually is I just notch a little bit of the fabric, just a tiny bit, or you can just pin it. It's really up to you. I just notch a little bit. That's gonna come off when you sew it on anyway. And so here's my one sleeve, and actually I have both of my sleeves already sewn together. I went ahead and did the other sleeve as well. While you weren't looking, you missed it. Anyway, so then now I'm going to grab my dress, and actually I don't know why I turned it right side out, because I'm going to turn it wrong side out again. And try to make sure that you don't catch the color when you're doing this. So I'm going to tuck my sleeve in there. And I'm gonna match the armpit edge together right here at the bottom. Then I'm gonna match the other seam right here on the side, the little seam, the color block seam right there. And you might have to stretch a little bit because it's a sleeve, and that's okay because we're using knit. So that's a really cool thing about knit, that you can give it a little bit of a stretch. And then the top is gonna be right where I made that notch, where I made that mark at the top. Guys, can you feel it? We are almost done with this dress. Literally, the sleeves are the last thing, and then we're going to hem. That's it. I'm gonna go ahead and put the other sleeve in as well, just because I like to go ahead and get that done and then sew it all at one time. How do you do it? Let me know that too. I'm full of questions today. I want to know how people do their sewing. Tell me. How do you do it? Do you pin all the things together first, or do you do one at a time, or what do you do? I like to pin, if I'm doing the sides and I'm putting the sides together, I like to pin both sides. If I'm putting the sleeves together, I like to put both sleeves on, you know, stuff like that. What do you do? Now I'm pinning the top because I marked that top. And I just think that notching it is so much easier for me, because then like sometimes the pins come off and I hate that. But I really hate it when it comes off and now I don't know where the top is or whatever, and I have to do the whole process again. So that's why I like to notch. That was my I just called that pepper. I almost called that pepper, my tomato. That's okay, I don't need it anymore, whatever. All right, so here I go, I'm going to sew. And I always start at the bottom seam, just because I like to have the seams where you can't see them. So like the armpit area, the bottom seam, it's always where I like to start. The back. Make sure you're not catching anything else. Make sure you're not catching the color. Make sure you're not catching any of the other fabric as you're sewing. So you want to grab it, match it up, and pull it if you need to a little bit. Stretch it out a little bit. Trying to get all that stuff out of the way. And here we go. Now the next one. The next, not the next sleeve, but the next area of the sleeve. My other side. So I like sewing with woven because it's stability. Knits are more wiggly, but I like sewing with knits because knits give you more leeway. Okay, I'm gonna make sure that they're all caught together. Now I'm gonna do the other one. See, now I don't have to stop and put it together and everything, and just move on to my next sleeve. That's why I like to do that. Yeah, so like knit gives you like some leeway, you know. If you didn't cut it perfectly, no worries. Just stretch it out a little bit. You'll be fine. I mean, to an extent. I'm not saying don't worry about how you cut it, because you do have to worry about how you cut it, but it gives you a little bit more leeway. What do you like to sew with? What do you prefer? Let me know that too. It's like a quiz today. All about how you sew. All right, almost there. Here we are. I went all the way around. My sleeves are on. My dress is finished. Now, I forgot to tell you, when you put the sleeves together, if you want to top stitch around the sleeve, you could have done that. Sorry, I didn't give you that option. It's up to you, really. Like I said, if I'm making a pretty dress like this, I don't usually like to top stitch because I like it to be like girly, if that makes any sense. Anyway, here's my dress. Look at it, how cute it is. Let me back up a little bit so you can really see it. Look, I love it. Now all I need to do is I'm going to hem it, hem the sleeves about 1/2 inch, and hem the bottom. If you want to go ahead and, like I said, if you wanted to top stitch that, you can. It's really totally up to you. And then if you want to do pockets, I decided not to do pockets, but let me show you. Let me get my pockets. I have my pockets right here. And if you are going to do pockets, you will have to cut 4 pockets, 2 pockets for each pocket, because it's the back and front, and interfacing. So what you would do is, I don't have my interfacing here or anything. I'm sorry, I let you guys down. You would grab 1 pocket and the interface and the other pocket and put it right sides together. So you put the 2 pockets right sides together. Then you put the interfacing on top. You do not want to sandwich the interfacing between the 2 pockets, because if you between the right sides, because if you do, then the interfacing will be on the outside. You don't want that. So you want right sides together of the pocket, interfacing on top. Then you will sew all the way around, just like at 1/8 of an inch straight stitch, and you will leave like a 2-inch gap where you can flip the pocket over. So after you sew all the way around, you're gonna clip the corners. You're gonna do the same thing I did to the collar to release, take some of the bulk off. Then you turn it right side out and you top stitch all the way around. And there is actually on your pattern a pocket setting thingy, whatever you call it. So it's what you do is if you want to, you can cut it out of your pattern, cut out the spot where it's supposed to be at, put it over your dress, and then you can go ahead and align your pocket right on top of that and pin it on, and then you would sew it right on. So that's all you would do with your pocket, and you just would go ahead and sew it right on wherever you went, where it shows you on the pattern. Okay, and that's it. That's all you would do, and our dress is done and done. I'm going to hem it. I'm going to take a picture of it and show it to you so you can see how cute it is. Let me know if you have any questions. If you have not subscribed, please do so so you don't miss out on any of our videos. Let me know if you have any questions. When you make your dress, please post it on our Ellie and Mac Facebook page. We'd love to see it. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye.